Hi guys, Dave from Firearms-UK here, and this is going to be our video review on the 2018 Northern Shooting Show. So for those of you that aren't familiar, the show usually takes place in the second weekend in May down in Harrogate near York, and this is the third year, and it's the third year we've been in attendance, and as I've come to expect from the show, each year is just bigger and better. There's more things to have a go at. There's always more RFDs, associations present. They're always looking to expand, and it's a fantastic experience. And I don't want to do a disservice to the previous years because they were all fantastic as well. But you can just see how the amount of work the organisers are putting in, and each year, if there's been any issues before, they're rectified. Not that there really is, it's like silly little things, but the organisers put so much work in to really make this, I would say, probably the premier show in the UK. And it's a show that's not just catered for a particular shooting discipline. You've got everything present, and I think that's something that's really wonderful because it allows different categories of shooter to learn from each other, to go and try each other's sports or interests. It allows people that have never shot before to go and find out what you can actually do in the UK and have a go at these different things as well. So it's really good. So this year the show started for us on the Friday. We were really, it was a real privilege for us to be invited to the inaugural DNA Film Festival, which was premiering on the Friday before the show started. And you could see clips from the festival throughout the weekend displayed in Hall 1 on a big screen. And it was a really fantastic start. It really set the sort of feeling for what the weekend was going to be like. If you're not familiar, the film festival was an opportunity for amateur and professional filmmakers to submit films that showcase what it really means to be a hunter and what hunting is really about. Because I'm sure we're all aware, there's a lot of people who think it's just about killing, it's a blood sport and bloodlust and we're all weirdos and things like that. And that's a very ignorant attitude, and it's something that's not reflective of reality. And so the festival was an opportunity for people to present these films, hopefully that they can be shown elsewhere to educate people and really show what hunting is about. And so the festival really started with an opening speech from Byron Pace of the Pace Brothers, who hosted the festival, and it was a really awesome speech. It hit so many nails in the head for me, and the message I took from it was about something similar to what we're always talking about: unity and positive action. It's about becoming involved. It's about being ambassadors to our sports. And now, obviously, the festival is most about hunting, but its principles, I think, should be applied to every discipline or every shooting related interest, and that's unity, positive action, support each other, educate people, educate the public. Don't be ashamed of what we do, but if we're ever displaying what we do, educate people, tell them why we do it. And the videos in the show themselves were awesome. They've done a great job of doing this. They had a couple of examples that really stuck out for me. Was one where it was some Swiss hunters and Danish hunters, I believe, visited each other. So first the Swiss guys went to Denmark and done a duck shoot, and then the Danish guys went to Switzerland to shoot chamois, I believe it was. And it's interesting itself just seeing the different species and different kinds of hunting, etc. But the Danish guys on their trip to Switzerland summed it up quite well. When they got there, they could have got a kill right away, but they didn't. They chose not to. They chose to go on and experience the Swiss environment, the Swiss mountains, find out more about their environment, learn more about their field craft and tracking skills and spotting skills and things like that. And that's exactly what it's about. It's about the experience. It's not about the killing. And that's why I think the festival's called DNA, is because inside us all, we're humans. We have this probably desire to hunt and achieve things like that. And perhaps back in the day, the greatest hunter was the most respected guy in the village or something like that. But these days, that might be that it's not gone away. It's just changed. It's now the person who maybe can close the biggest business deal or lift the heaviest weight in the gym will have this desire. It's there. It's nothing to be ashamed of. It's just about putting it in context. And as I say, there's so many videos that really done this. Another video, I think it was a Danish gent who went to Australia and had a cracking Australian accent, by the way. His English was brilliant. Well, we can call it English right enough, but not that I can talk. But he went to Australia and he hunted his quarry for 3 or 4 days in the bush. He was living wild. And when he finally got it, you could see it was such an emotional experience for him because he went through some amount of hardship to get there and get where he was. And that really is what it's all about. And of course, there's other aspects to hunting. There's a lot of speakers in between the films, and you learn about other aspects, such as in Africa, where hunting provides income and support for maybe families. In the West, we've got luxury to say this is brutal, but whereas in Africa, it's a vital source of income to rural economies that otherwise would face poverty and starvation. It's also a way to protect animals in Africa, because if there's a value to them, people will protect that resource and look after it, and it can pay for the game wardens to stop poachers, who are the real problem when it comes to animal extinction and endangered species and things like that. And all these people that go on about trophy hunting, they potentially could do a lot of damage because it's something that they really don't understand. But one of the really good things for me was it was another gentleman from Denmark, and he was talking about how they've achieved unity. They've achieved through education and positive action. They've increased the number of people that hunt in Denmark, so much so it's actually become quite trendy and cool. And there's that many hunters that they can actually influence the Danish government in direct policy. And they've actually achieved a lifting of some restrictions that affected hunters. And it's something that it's really inspiring, because if it can happen in Denmark, it can happen here. And to leave, just so, as I say, set the vibe up, we can do this, guys, with unity and positive action, with everyone working together and supporting each other, going over petty differences and petty opinions on certain types of firearms or certain ways to hunt, as long as it's ethical, and sustainable, and if it's really regarding just purely shooting, it's not any real threat to public safety or managed properly, there's no issues, there's a lot of benefits, and it's something we should all be trying to sell the benefits of. So I'll round it off, guys. The festival was wonderful. If you get a chance, check out some of the films that were shown on the day. It was really, really just terrific. But moving on the Saturday, also that's the actual show time. So we were located in Hall 3 this year, and again, you're seeing how the show's continuing to grow. Every year it's getting bigger and bigger. Maybe whereas the first year we had a fairly small marquee, second year it was bigger. This year it was a full blown, it was pretty much another building essentially, and you could just see it, that solid frame structure. It was massive, and there was a lot of people in that tent. There was a lot of tent marquee. You had a lot of RFDs, knife manufacturers. What was really good to see was a lot of police licensing departments were there, and that was something I thought was really awesome, because we had a lot of people, walking by us, talking to us, saying, how do you get into shooting, things like that, what's the process, and we could give them information and give them advice and things like that, but we'd maybe ask, well, what police force are you under? And there was just 20 feet down the hall, and you can go direct, and then they could hopefully start the process for applying for a certificate. And that's what we need, to increase numbers and make it as easy as possible, and the show does a good job of doing that. And it's great as well to have the police there working with the shooting community, because often, sometimes you do see, especially on social media, people get disappointed. There's variations in service. There's some really excellent service, but there's some really bad service, and you're kind of treated like a criminal or a potential murderer. And that, we're all on the same side. No one wants to see that happen. And when you're getting bombarded with silly regulations and pointless restrictions, it's rubbish. So it's great to actually have the police and the shooting community together, working together, talking about things and getting to know each other. That's the way it should be. And as I say, just for people to go and maybe start the process, or even people that had certificates who could go along and make an inquiry, get a variation or get advice and things, it was really good. And for us to the hall was a location that was really just perfect for us, because we've got a lot of supporters that were coming by, and just sort of great to meet people in person, so to speak. But the feedback we got from a lot of people was fantastic. It was really nice to to catch up with people. And personally, sometimes I think, do we say the right thing? Are we doing okay? Should we maybe just wrap it up? Are we causing more problems than we solve, kind of thing? But the feedback we're getting was just really tremendous and positive, and we're grateful to get that. And it is always good to meet people in person. In fact, it was actually great. We actually managed to meet a few well-known shooting personalities from like social media. So Sam from SRS Power was there, met Callum from English Shooting, Neil from Rack and Load, and Mike Lindsay as well, who helped man our stall for quite a bit of time, which gave me a chance to go out and see a few things. So I really appreciate Mike for doing that. We also took part in a debate, which I'll go into later. But yeah, generally, so I say Hall 3, a lot to see and doing in there. A few associations, I think the European Cartridge Research Association were there as well, and they had a big boys anti-tank rifle on their stand, so it was great to see something like that for real. There was also I can't remember the manufacturer, unfortunately, but it was the UK debut of some new types of shotgun, I think from Turkey. It was so you had a couple of really interesting looking bullpup designs and designs based on the R15 platform. They looked really good, and they weren't, again, it was quite a good price, I would say, for them. So you can imagine, like, obviously, like practical shooters and things like that would be great, good to go see things like that. Personally, I'd love to get one for clay shooting, but I think you'd get a few funny looks rocking up to the clay ground with one of them. But yeah, it was great to see things like that, and obviously younger people coming in, seeing what you can own and realising it's not there's anything wrong with traditional stuff, but there's kind of fun, cool looking stuff too as well. It's really good just to be able to display that. But just outside, you also had Hall 4, and that was the Airsoft Arena this year, and that's something else that's got a lot bigger. Previous years, it was really just it was like a covered area, but it was didn't have any walls, if you can picture that. So this year again, they had their own custom built hall, and there was a lot of cool things to see in there. The big Land Rover Defender, and I quite like Defenders, and I think they're really cool. So they'd one in there with a big minigun attached to it, obviously I think for some airsoft games. They had a lot of manufacturers of products there, clothing, airsoft guns, things like that. You also had, I think there was a few airsoft magazines present as well, but going out the back of the hall was, it was quite a treat. You had the airsoft 3-gun challenge, and that was very popular. You could see a lot of people queuing to have a go at that, and I think it's great to see something like that as well, because not only can people have a go, but obviously 3-gun is a very popular kind of shooting sport worldwide, and it's something in the UK is quite restrictive in terms of the firearms we're kind of forced to use. So you're always thinking, if you can get interest in it, maybe that'll lead to hopefully people thinking maybe we should change our laws to be able to use live fire and firearms to do it. But it's, you can see what a challenge it is in terms of having to be accurate and quick. It was really good to see. There's a lot of people actually quite good at it as well. But just next to that, you had the close quarter battle simulator, and I think that was something akin to going into like the SAS Killing House, where you go in and try and shoot some targets holding hostages, things like that. I didn't actually get a chance to look at it, unfortunately, but you kept hearing I think it's like flashbangs or grenades going off. It was quite loud, so you can imagine it would give you quite a feel for that experience. So it was really, really good to see things like that there as well, that are kind of dynamic, and it's a bit of a challenge, and it's exciting. So it was really good. Just outside the Airsoft Arena, I think you did Double Juice Firing Range were there again this year. So they had the likes of a selection of 2.2 rimfire semi-auto rifles you could have a go at. Again, very, very popular. You had a lot of people queuing up to have a go at. I've had a go in previous years, and it was great fun. And I suppose you can say the 2.2s aren't the same as the real thing, but when you've got some really iconic firearms there, it's great to have a go, even if it is an imitation. It's great fun, and I know they've got their actual own stationary range, if you like. So it's always worth, it's very popular for like stag do's, hen do's, to go, or just going for go shooting with mates. So that's always something that's really good to see, just the ability to have a go at things like that. You had the two main halls, Hall 2 and Hall 1. Hall 2 was mainly airgun focused. So again, a lot of the big manufacturers like Brocock, BSA, Air Arms were present. Excuse me. So you had a lot of products there to look at. I think there was again a few UK premieres and new products coming out. You had a lot of clothing, things to do with like pest control and things like that, decoys. and you could go through there into Hall 1, which is the main hall, and in there again you'd a lot of RFDs, manufacturers of clothing, optics, things like that. And you do, I mean, at the show you do get some really good deals. It's not just, people jacking up prices for a captive audience. I mean, last year I got a brand new Tika rifle, and I don't think I've seen the price matched anywhere else. I got a good few pounds off what I've seen it advertised elsewhere, so that was a great deal to be had. And this year, CJ from 617 managed to talk me into getting a pair of 511 trousers. And again, I got a good show rate on them, a good, I think it was £13 or £14 off the RRP, so, I got a good deal, and I've got to say, they're actually night and day above the cheaper imitation, so I'm glad I've done that. So, it's good, you always there's a lot of good deals to be had on that I don't think you're going to get elsewhere. There's a lot of associations in the Hall 1 as well, so you'd like the Saks, Basque, I think the 50 calibre association were there as well, and it's always good that you can go up. Again, if you're trying to get into shooting or you've got any issues, you can go and talk to the likes of Alex or Jules at Saks, and they'll be happy to give you advice or just find out a bit more how to get into shooting and what it involves, and just have a good chat. And it's awesome just to be able to do things like that. If you just went outside Hall 1, you had an area more focused, obviously, in the country, field sports kind of thing. So you'd like the gun dog trials where you could see, I think Basque were doing demonstrations on like a gun dog, so it was like showing their retrieving skills, their obedience, things like that. And personally, I love spaniels, so it's great to go down and watch them and see, they're fantastically well trained. He also had a doggy nursery, if you like, where you could leave your dog, someone would look after it, like you get around the show a bit more and things like that. So a lot of great services there. But you also had the deer focus area, which I believe they'd done a live gralloch of a deer, and I think if you were lucky, you might get a chance to have some venison. I'm sure I smelt it cooking at some point, but that's something else. It's really good to see. It's informative. You can go along if you've never hunted. You maybe another kind of shooter. You can go along and see something like that. It's all explained about deer management, what it's about, why it's done, and how it's a healthy, sustainable, ethical food source, things like that. So it's something for everyone, and you don't know everything, and you can always learn something. So it's really good to be able to go and do that. You also had the Thomas Jacks symposium, which was something again that seemed to be really popular. It was basically an area where there was lots of discussions going on over the weekend. So myself, Mike Lindsay, Callum from English Shooting, and Sam from SRS Power took part in a discussion on the Saturday. It was about social media, and that was a really rewarding experience again for myself, because it gave you a chance to interact with people. There's nothing better I like doing than interacting with a kind of live audience, because sometimes I think in videos you can tell I babble on and stuff, but to interact with people and get asked questions and have some really good discussions and talk about the benefits of social media, perhaps some of the downsides, how you need to be careful. But it was great. You end up going off in little different discussions, and I've probably sent in a few tangents and things like that, but it was great. We got some really good feedback from that as well. And it's just brilliant. But there's also some other talks going on throughout the weekend. One I managed to catch, I think it was on the Sunday. It was hosted by Rachel Carey, and I think it was about women in field sports, I think was the topic. And it was great to go along. I only caught 5 minutes, but there's some really good discussion points and being covered and mentioned, and you can see the audience, again, a big audience, a lot of people paying attention, and it's great that you can go along, and especially if your wife, your partner, sister, friends like that, you can take them along, show them it's shooting. It's not just a sport for men. Women do it as well, and they're very good at it, often better than men in many occasions. And speak to people like that, or just see that they're there. So it was just another plus for me. Moving outside the show, well, you'd walk past, if you're going into the sort of, I think it's the early bird entrance, you could walk past the air gun ranges. So again, you could have a go at various different kinds of air gun from different manufacturers. The different ranges set up, and it was a lot of steel plates and things like that. So it was good to see that. Excuse me. And then again, very, very popular. Oh, I forgot to mention, you also had the HFT Masters, which is down at the sort of deer focus sort of country sports area that I mentioned. And again, that's something, it is really, really busy. I think people come from all over the country to compete in that, and the range they've got set up's fantastic, lots of different targets. And I think Davey from Airgun Gurus is always I think he's there every year, but nice guy, good laugh. You'll see, I think a lot of the advice and stuff he gives, encouraging people to get into shooting is brilliant. So you get a lot of good organisations there that are happy to help you out and give you advice and give you a go and things like that. But yeah, moving outside to the Clay Line area, for me that's one of the real sort of just wonderful things about the show. It's one of my favourite views probably in the country. If you can picture it, it's just like these beautiful rolling fields with some railway viaducts in the background, and just to be smashing clays over a view like that, it's stunning. But the Clay Line was sponsored by Ely Hawk, but you'd likes of the CPSA and Basque there again, offering clay lessons. There's various competitions held over the weekend, so ranging from people that were maybe amateurs just starting out to people that are incredible shots. It was a real challenge for them. So it's good. Again, lots of stuff you can see and do. Browning were there, and they were offering demonstrations of some of their products, and I actually own a Browning Maxis, so I'll go along again along with CJ from 617, who was doing a lot of photography for the weekend for the show, and we went along and we managed to try. It was a ATEC A12 moderator for a shotgun, and I've heard of moderators for shotguns, but I've never actually seen one up close or heard one fired, and it was quite incredible that you could stand 5 or 6 feet away from the shotgun, and really, to me, all you could hear was the action of the semi-auto shotgun cycling. There was like no noise at all. Using the actual shotgun, I'll say you still need ear protection because you did get kind of high-pitched whine, perhaps from like a pressure wave or something like that, but it was incredible how silent it was. So again, just to have a go at something like that was really good. It's actually got me quite interested, if I needed something like that, it's tempting, but I did find that they made the gun was a little front heavy, but you'll find that with any moderator, I guess. But it didn't really stop me from hitting the clay that they presented to me, so that was all good. Another first for me this year was the steel plate challenge, and this is something I was really looking forward to, and I definitely wanted to make sure I had a go at. And it was basically you had to knock down 9 steel plates in as quick a time as possible using a Section 2 shotgun. It was hosted and organised by the National Target Shotgun Association, and I've always wanted to try some kind of practical shooting for quite a while, and it was great fun. And I was hoping to use the Maxis because the Maxis has got a few features that I thought would help knock a few seconds off the time, but obviously for fairness sake you had to use one of the shotguns that were available at the stand, and unfortunately I wasn't too familiar with it. I think it did cost me a few seconds, but it was great fun. You're trying something like that, and the staff from the NTSA were really a nice bunch of people, very helpful and a good bit of fun. It was very well organised. It was very good instruction, and it was great to hear that when I was waiting in the queue to have a go, there was a couple of guys in front of me and they were saying how they'd never even shot before. So the show's not just for people that shoot. People that don't shoot are coming along and they're getting some tuition, they're getting something that might plant the seed, start the fire, get them involved in shooting sports. And the show has got everything there to allow people to get the information that they need to hopefully become involved and become a certificate holder, and then from there hopefully introduce someone else. And that does come back to my sort of point, as I was saying earlier, about unity and positive action. Shooters we've all got this duty. We need to become involved, and we need to get more people shooting, especially non-shooters, because often we're preaching to the converted. And things like the Northern Shooting Show present us all a wonderful opportunity where we can maybe bring a few friends, bring family, go down for the weekend, go down for the day, go to the show, and then you can have a night out afterwards or something. Like Harry gets a good wee town itself. But and that's something else about shooting. There's a show, shooters are bringing in money to a local economy. There's so many benefits of shooting that we should really be trying to sell and show the public. I think that's it, guys. I don't want to kind of drone on too much. I'll just quickly say one other really cool thing I seen was, I think it was the Queen's Own Yeomanry, I think was the regiment that were there, and they had a Land Rover Defender on display with a GPMG and a 50 cal on it, and they also had a 50 cal you could go up and have a look at, and I got to rack it a few times, and you can just feel the mass in this thing. It's absolutely massive, it's huge. But I think there's a sergeant and a couple of these men that were there were really informative. They talked you through the Browning and its capabilities and some of their training and all that about what they've done. It was, it's really interesting. You could just go and have a chat for 10 minutes and things like that. And you could spend the whole weekend going to all the different halls, talking to different people, and not hear the same thing twice, and come away learning something. So all in all, guys, it's a fantastic show. I'm going to put a few more links in below in either the post or the comment, etc. Just from some of the other guys that were there. They'll have more footage that you can check out, probably better, more interesting videos than this one as well. But big thank you to Paul, Richard and all the organisers at the show, because they've just surpassed themselves again. They had a wonderful event this year, so well organised, and I can't wait to next year. It's going to be awesome, and I know, just going by the standards they've set, there's going to be more to do and there's going to be more stuff to have a go at this year, so I'm really looking forward to it. And hopefully we'll see another DNA Film Festival, because that was really enjoyable as well. So I think that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please check out the Northern Shooting Show's Facebook and their website. Get your early bird tickets booked now. They have been frozen at this year's prices, so for a limited time you can get them. I think it's £12, and that gets you priority park, and it gets you early entry, and it's a limited time, and that's for the 2019 show, guys. But thanks for watching, and if we don't see you soon, we'll hopefully see you at next year's show. Cheers.